All right, so good morning, everybody. Today is Sunday, December 18th, 2022. And yesterday I talked about how I was watching like Lauren Lake, and just want to let you know, guys, I'm still in pain. Not like yesterday where it was absolutely excruciating, but my feet still hurt. Like I stood up to walk from the recliner to this chair. Ooh, it hurt. Um, but I talked yesterday how I was watching Lauren Lake, which is like custody, divorce, you know, fake law court type thing. And shout out to her because she's doing good in life. But and I talked about how there was this video that I saw a while back where, you know, basically the men, it was on the topic that if men don't like the female, you know, they don't care about you or your children. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what it was. But the channel that it came off of on TikTok was Dana Dane Backup. And about Dana Dane, when I first saw her, I thought she was black and Asian, but apparently she's not. But she really looks black and Asian, or that's what I thought. But she showed pictures of both her parents. Neither of them are. But who knows? You know, maybe her dad was in the military and he took her and brought her back here. I don't know. But anyways, she really looks it to me. But you know, we all want to see what we want to see. But here's the video that she posted on it. I didn't realize I had it pinned somewhere, but I don't know if I can share it. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Hopefully, I don't have a lot of reverb from this. But here we go.
Love your mother. We don't really love you, motherfucker.
I know what he said sounds harsh, and it is, but let's talk about it. Take a deep breath because you're going to get probably offended about this. But we've already addressed that men don't have to be attracted to you. They don't have to like you. They don't have to see a future with you to have sex with you. We made that very clear. I think everybody should be on one accord with this and understanding that men don't have to want you at all in any capacity to have sex with you. Now that we got that out the way, I need you to understand that because of this, when you lay down and have sex with them and you get pregnant, because there was never a connection between him and you, there will never be a connection between him and that child either. He did not want you, and he absolutely did not want a child with you. Hear me when I say this. If you got pregnant from a situationship, from a man who was never committed to you, never asked to be with you, you was always on his time, he was inconsistent, please understand that it will not change once you have that baby, right? The same thing that he did with you is the same thing that's going to happen with that baby, and probably even worse, because the reality of it is when these men don't really want you, they wish they could make the whole situation with the baby go away. But since they can't, they just going to pretend like it never even happened. And this is why they not in them children's life. Because they did not want you, and they absolutely didn't want a child with you. So at this point, they are just going to pretend there is no baby. And they going to go on about their life like it never even happened, right? Or if they still want sex from you, the conditions of them dealing with that child will be on the conditions of you still sleeping with them. And when you stop sleeping with them and giving them access to you, they will cut that child off right along with it.
If we don't
So there you go on that. So really, yeah. And the funny thing about it, you know, I don't have a lot of experience with that because, you know, I haven't had very many experiences with men. You know, I don't, you know, I haven't had very many relationships. And but the thing is, I remember in college, this one guy, I've gotten taken advantage of a time or two. This one guy was telling me, you know, that basically with a man, they could look at you, and I get it's a situation in college, they could look at you, they could spend time with you, and, you know, hold your hand, touch you like they would touch anybody else, but, you know, it means nothing, you know. And I think he was telling me, like, you know, when you see situations where dudes, you know, have kids and they don't take care of them, it's because they don't like the mother. And that was 30 years ago. Okay. Fast forward to days in Atlanta. Again, um, situation there was that, I had met somebody, I think online or something like that, and I used to go hang out. And his roommate would tell me, we weren't having sex or anything like that. I wasn't even thinking about it, but he was just giving me the heads up already. He was just like, yo, I just need to let you know this dude brings girls over here every day, and all you hear is that wasn't me, but and he was just like, just letting me know, it's an everyday thing, he treat them nice, whatever, whatever, but that's all it is. And so, just because I saw this video, that brought that to mind. But wanted to talk about something else as well. I talked about how late last night, um, y'all saw me coming home. I was in so much pain. For the most part, the nicest thing I always say, the nicest thing somebody can do is really just leave you alone. And leave you alone means not staring at you, whatever, whatever. And so when I came home last night, like I said, Valdosta is only 3 to 5 miles long, where the populated part is, right? Until you get into Redneck County, which is not really Valdosta, but yeah. And so as I was walking back that dark long street that I walked across, there's a house across the street, and I realized as I walked past, I felt two people looking at me. I looked across the street. There's two black men standing in a driveway, probably 25 to 35, stocky build, about this guy's build, and they're talking, and they stopped to look at me, and the stop and look that they did was a disrespectful one. It was a stop and look like, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? That was the stop and look that I got, and I was in too much pain to look back or to ask, because I like to learn. So if I can, and I don't feel intimidated or feel like I'm gonna be putting myself in danger, I'll ask. But usually when I'm out and about, you guys know I walk everywhere, so I'm in sincere pain or so exhausted that I'm not, like when I was getting beat up on by that Korean woman. I'm so exhausted. My only goal is to get home. You know what I'm saying? I'm focused on just getting home. I'm in so much pain, but that's a good question to ask. And next time, no matter how much pain, 'cause I'm gonna be in pain either way. I'm gonna stop and I'm just gonna say, excuse me. I noticed that you guys stopped your conversation to pointedly look at me, and I just want to know, what are you thinking? What is it that you see that makes you look that way? What are you thinking? What do you see? And then I would like the opportunity to explain to them what they're looking at. They're looking at a middle-aged woman that just walked 6 miles, that's been walking since probably 11:30 a.m. is now 12:15 a.m. the next day, to make sure that she had something to eat, stop and get some food to eat, to pick up groceries, and to get a flat iron to do her hair. What you're looking at, that's what you're seeing. you know? And what is it about that, that would make you look like that? You know? Um, so I would want to know. And I'm going to share this video with you, because this video shares about a guy that was getting some, that was getting noticed, but not in a way that he appreciated. And it caused him to feel a certain type of way. And this is how he addressed it. I advise you how I felt last night, and it happens all the time. And it just really makes me think. And what happened last night was black men, and it happens a lot. The black women usually just ignore me, but here, listen to what he had to say.
Just wanted to share this event with you guys. I guess call it an incident, but it just comes down to, I'm walking down the street, Asian lady locks up her car, walks in front of me, crosses the street because I'm walking behind her, and then I notice this shit, so I decide to then slow down. I'm a pretty fast walker, but I wanted to see what her end game was. For a second, I thought maybe she lived across the street, but no. She walked to the end of the block to then cross back over. And yes, I definitely did approach her about this shit. I asked her, hey, did you not think that I would notice this? Do you not realize, what that does to people? I don't know. The thing is, I'm so sick of this shit. What sense does it make to to do something like that. And then I approach her, I go, hey, did you not see that I would notice this? She tells me that she forgot which way she was going. Mind you, you just parked your car, like over here. And I've seen it before, so clearly you know where you live, you know where you're going. So don't lie to me. And then she says that, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, clearly you knew what you were doing. And that's when I called her a racist, a proper racist cunt. And then she replies to me that I'm the racist. As a black man who speaks 4 languages, learning a fifth, Arabic, I just reply, it's like, what? I fucking love Asia. Everything about it. It's mostly Japan, really, but now I understand. But yeah. Not to mention the kid yesterday who kept looking back because I was going to do laundry. He just wanted to stare at me. So I asked him, have you never seen a black person before? Do you have questions for me? What the fuck? The thing is, like, we live in New York. This should not be happening here, but it does. It's hella fucked, and I just don't understand. Well, what is gained? The ignorance. All you do is you listen to people that are from your neighborhood that speak your language and disregard any information from anywhere else. How is anyone meant to grow that way? Yeah. Hey guys, how you doing? So,
Okay, so that's what he had to say, you guys. And then, I did a response video to that, right? And I shared how I felt about it, you know. Um, and so here's what I had to say initially, just based on pure feeling, not necessarily logic, but pure feeling, right?
walks in front of me,
I snipped it.
crosses.
All right, so I just want to comment on this real quick. This guy, black guy, I don't know, he's in New York, I think, and some Asian lady got scared of him and walked.
Hold on. I don't know why mine is so big. Like, that's absolutely huge. I don't know why it's so big. Let me see if I could tone that down a little bit. Dang. I try to tone it down.
Asian lady locks up.
Sorry, guys. Let me see what I can do about that. Hang on. Jeez. It's the eyeball brigade. All you saw is my big eyeball. Oh, I don't know why that's so huge, but yeah, here we go. It's a little bit better. Wow, that's huge. All right, I think I'm good, kind of. All right, let's try that again.
Up her car, walks in front of me, crosses.
All right, so I just want to comment on this real quick. This guy, black guy, I don't know, he's in New York, I think, and some Asian lady got scared of him and walked across the street. He was really offended. He's disgusted by it. He says when he goes to the laundromat, the Asian kids look at him weird too. I'm Korean and black, and let me tell you something. The best thing that somebody can do for you is to leave you the F alone. Okay, I'm in a Chinese restaurant as we speak. But let me tell you, all my life, I've never had an issue, right? But recently, I
Every time I say all my life, I want to say all my life I had to fight. Anyway, sorry.
went into a Korean shop that was close by my house. I just went to because I wanted to buy a blow dryer with a comb on it. You know, I usually don't go to those places. My mom always told me never, ever, ever to go. Never usually had a problem. I went in there. I didn't see the blow dryer I wanted. I walked out. I get halfway down the block. The woman says, excuse me, you got something dripping on your bag. And I was like, I don't think so, but that's okay. If that's the case, I'll take care of it when I get home. She says, no, you have to come back here. You have to come back here and clean up. And I was like, no, I don't think so. I'm on my way home. She then tries to say, because I didn't come back, she says, oh, you can't take anything. And I was like, ma'am, I didn't take it. I have this bag that I carry with me wherever I go. When I go shopping, I'll pick up and put stuff in there. I said, no, ma'am. She followed me down the street, actually put her hands on me. And I said, ma'am, I do not have anything that belongs to you. And I showed my bag by closing it up and rolling it up to put it into my fanny pack. But she says, I'll follow you home. You're going to go to jail, this, that, and other. I've never had a situation like that ever in my life. I'm almost 50 years old. But I have to say this, though. My viewpoint on it, looking from your side, okay, it doesn't feel nice when people stare at you or if they cross the street, but they're doing you a favor. You know, if they don't want to be bothered with you, they're getting out of your sight, you know, as long as they're not putting their hands on you, having anything to say about you, I know it's a problem. And it doesn't have to be a racial thing. Cause for me, I'm an oddball. I'm by myself sometimes and people look and people stare or people cross because maybe they think she's indigent or whatever like that. But people have their thoughts and opinions, and the best thing someone can do is leave you alone. And for you to go and follow behind her, just like that lady followed behind me, you know, that's, you know, you put an assault on them. You know, she tried to be cordial about it. You know, she just the best thing somebody can do is leave you alone. You know, don't get offended because somebody doesn't want to be in your presence or they cross the street. For me, I'm a female. I walk a lot at night. And sometimes, and it's not a racial thing, there's people that are all around. And I'll cross the street if I see a guy coming towards me. Not because anything particular about him, but it's for my own safety and protection. And people should always trust their instincts. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not bothering them, sometimes they get offended, yeah, but most of the time they understand or they'll announce themselves so that they know they're coming. But you can't control what somebody else does. As long as they don't put their hands on you and have nothing to say about you, let them be. You know, that's just my opinion.
Asian lady locks up.
All right. So, and of course, you have a limited time to respond. So I couldn't say everything I wanted, but that's how I felt about it. And he did take the time to comment back. And he looks like a younger guy. Like I said, maybe 25. He looks young. And he made a comment back, and I was just like, he's about to curse me out because how dare I make a comment on what he had to say because that's what he says. And sometimes, a lot of times, when you comment on something that somebody else says and it's something that was important to them that they took to heart, you know, sometimes it can come off as, even though it may not be your intention, I talk about intent and impact a lot, it may come off or they may feel as if, what they had to say initially is meant to mean. And it's not, because I know how it feels when people stare at you and, you know, but I have to keep it moving. And I talked about last night, again, those guys look at me, those are black guys look at me. I didn't like it. But, next time I will approach them on it, but not in a way that, hey, did you think that, I would notice that you intentionally crossed the street, whatever. But my thing is, hey, I noticed you. I'm not gonna ask you, did you think, yeah, I noticed you, you guys were talking and you stopped to pointedly stare as I crossed, your view site. What is it that you saw that made you look that way? I want to know, you know, I want to know. And I'll do that next time, but I won't be walking again anytime soon because my feet are absolutely killing me. But this is what he had to say, in response. Let's see if we can make it over to the part where he actually had something to say in response. Let's move over to the comment section here, right? Let's take a journey into traffic. Where it is. So he said, you know what? I really appreciate, and maybe this is him being mature because he knows I'm an old lady. So he's trying not to be disrespectful. I don't know. But he says, and I'm reading from the bottom to the top because that's how the order goes. Well, maybe I should make it small. I'm not doing all that. You know what? I really appreciate your response. Hey, I just want to say, though, that I just want to say, though, that I wasn't following her for an experiment. The side of the street it was the path I needed to take. She just crossed and crossed back. I just decided to quote unquote confront her about it because she returned on my path. So he's just saying basically, you know, she was on the side of the street she need to be on. I noticed she pointedly crossed the street. And then she came back after she got past me. He says, that being said, I really do appreciate you taking the time to share your opinion. No sarcasm. As for your experience, you can say whatever you want. Just keep your hands off me. I'm not that guy. He's like, I'm not that guy. You know. Also, I have to say, I appreciate you watching my vid. So that was kind of him to say. Thank you, young man. So I'm gonna get off that real quick. I wanted to share. With that being said, I'm gonna actually share the um, the review that I did on this place, and I'm gonna talk to you about my feelings. Feelings. I'm gonna talk to you about my feelings on that. And this is where's the reviews? See if I can find my review. Here's my review. I didn't get any thumbs up on it, so no one else had this experience. But they were at 4.8, so my review helped to bring them down to a 4.0, and I'm happy because they deserved it. Let me see, get back to my, is it going to show my review? Yeah, I had a lot to say because it hurt me, and it was hard for me. It was hard for me to address it. It really was absolutely hard. But we're gonna look at it together, and it's kind of a slap in the face too when you see that their reviews are so high. You know what I'm saying? After you got treated that way, you know. But here, I mean, that's a painful thing. And like I said, all right. So originally, and I always put the original view review down. I always leave the original view down there because it was a high view originally. And it says update. A couple of weeks ago, I went to the store to pick up a blow dryer with a comb. I usually do not go here. I walked in the door, asked where the blow dryers were. They were next to the register. I took 2 minutes to scan and see they weren't there and left. I got a block down the street. I heard someone calling for me. The woman advised that my bag was leaking and asked me to come back. The bag was not leaking, but I said I'll take care of it when I get home. Perhaps she had an assumption because I had a Frosty in the side pocket. She then kept pushing me to come back. I said, "No, ma'am, I'm going home." I turned to continue on my way. I walked everywhere and was exhausted, and my phone was dead. Next thing I know, the older Korean woman came and punched me in my head and kept beating on me. She then said, "You can't take from my store." I stated, "Ma'am, I do not have anything that belongs to you." She kept hitting me and told me that I had to go back to the store. She said that I was going to jail that night. I said, "Ma'am, you are mistaken. Please review your cameras." She kept assaulting me, so I held my hand out to prevent her from doing so. She then said that she was following me home. I said, "That is fine, but please stop assaulting me." I advised that if I had a way to defend myself, that would be an issue. I had a really hard time writing this review because it is embarrassing, not something you want advertised, and it could be used to retaliate. However, I felt it was a responsibility. If I could report on food being bad and bad services, I definitely need to report on or let the public know that I was assaulted. The ironic thing is that I am South Korean and black. My mother always told me to never enter these stores for any reason. I never had a problem, but I do try to avoid going to them. I spoke with another Afro Amerasian woman and shared my experience. She advised me that the woman did not like black people, and it angered her that I went into her store and did not purchase anything. This experience traumatized me. Korean was my first language. My mother is Korean. I grew up with rice, kimchi, bulgogi, yakimandu, limos, ajishis, and was rebrushing up on my Korean. I had a hard time writing this review because black people will still patronize. The Korean woman, while assaulting me, started to speak in African American slang, so anyone in earshot would know that she was quote unquote down. This was an awful and uncalled for experience. I walk past that shop whenever I go shopping. My sentiment is perhaps a black person in the store saw my frosty, said it was dripping. She came out to accost me, and because I didn't come back, felt I was an easy target, and it would give her points with the black person in the store and show that she was quote unquote down. Again, I know this experience will not impact her business, but it had an impact on me, and I wanted to share it. And this is the previous review that I had. I never deleted, and I need to start dating my reviews. Good experience. You can find what you want. Prices are very competitive. The female manager or owner is she seems very in tune with her customer needs and seems to understand how to effectively and efficiently assist people. And a person one seems to be able to mirror behavior. And when I said mirror behavior, it was actually insulting. She was like, "What's the up?" But I wanted to be nice about it, because I had never had a bad experience prior to that, and I'd never hardly go to the store to understand, okay, mirror behavior as she sees fit without coming off disrespectfully. It was disrespectful. The store has been through a lot, robberies, etc. It is not in a great part of town, but you will find what you need and is conveniently located. That's what I had to say before. Sad story. But anyhow, that's all I had to say. So good morning, everyone. Carpe diem. Um, you and I, YouTube and I, YouTube and I, we're gonna try to get some things done today, little by little. Cleaning, like I said, is a struggle. My hair is something that really needs to be taken care of, and we're gonna do that since we took the time to walk 6 miles and get a flat iron and get blistered feet and hurt feet and have people stare at you and not care. You know, that's what we're gonna do. So I love you, and we're gonna work on this immediately, immediately, kind of immediately. But today is dedicated to that. Dedicating this one to my favorite want to do list. We're gonna see if we can make it happen. Yeah, but that's all, you know. Anyways, love and peace. I have some other comments about the store, but it's not directly tied to that, so I'm gonna leave that alone. Leave it alone. But yeah, we'll go back to the food journey. I love you guys. No, I love myself so much that I hope the love that I have myself overflows to you. That is what I mean. Anyways, I love you. I love myself. I love myself so much that I hope that that love overflows to you. Over. So I need to start that over. So I had more to say about what that guy had to say in his video. And one of some of the things I wanted to address was that he says, do you know what this does to people? And I completely 1,000% understand that when somebody looks at you in any way that shows that they don't feel that you're a credible person, they don't feel that you're a good person, that you're a worthy person, that you're an upstanding person, that does feel a certain way. It hurts, for whatever reason it is, and that's kind of what I intimated on my response video to his video, you know anytime that you're getting looked at as if you're not accepted or part of the fold, whatever. He says, do you think that I would not notice? I would say inversely for me, hey, I noticed that you two guys were talking, or whatever it is that you noticed. I noticed that you guys were talking and that you pointedly stopped and pointedly looked at me when I crossed into your view site. Can you share with me what you were thinking or what you were feeling or what made you behave that way? Because again, my goal is to understand and again escape. What I need from you is understanding. And it's true. He said that he felt that that was racist. I can understand, as a black man, how he would feel that way. It's not necessarily that. And that's also what I shared in my response video, that sometimes just as a female, you're scared. It's dark. You're vulnerable, you know? And I shared my experiences in regard to that. And um, the woman responds back, she thought that he was racist. I can see that too. Just because someone's not African American and then they, you know, show a type of diversion, it's not necessarily a race thing, you know. So I can see both sides on that. He says that he talks about how the kid was looking back and all he was doing was doing his laundry, but the guy was just staring, and that does happen. I haven't been in Korea since I was teeny tiny over 40 years ago. But from what I see, like on TikTok and different things I expose myself to, that the kids really, even though they have black people now, the children really are just like in shock. They think people taste like chocolate, literally, or look like chocolate. Some of the teachers that are Black American teachers that are over there, male and female, have shared that, so it is something that's different, so we have to respect each other's differences, something that you're not exposed to, they may be exposed to. Like for me, I remember going in here in Valdosta, Georgia. I remember going to a little place and wanting to play pool. It was late at night, and there. And I always peek in to look and see if I see any other black people. If I see any black people, then I go. Um, at least one black person. That seems like a real black person. But when I say real, I mean not someone that just works there, right? That they hired for whatever affirmative action reason. But I peeked in. There was a bunch of white people at the bar. They seemed cool, and I look at how they respond to me peeking in. Do they look like what you doing here? Then I take the hint and I exit stage left immediately. But they seemed okay. They were just looking like, okay, what's she looking at? She gonna come in or not? That was the look that I got. So I walked into the bar. There's a white guy and a black guy talking in the adjacent room where there's a pool table, and so and I said, hey, do you guys have karaoke night here? And the guy that I was standing next to when I said it, he said something to me, but his voice was so weird. Okay. Back in the days, like in the mid 80s, late 80s, there was Phil Donahue show and he did a segment. I always get thirsty. He did a segment on the Georgia Guidestones and people that live like in the deep country parts of Georgia and how, there are people there that are satanic and they talk different. They don't have much exposure to the outside world, but these people that were at a bar, and the accent they had was so weird. It wasn't a Southern country accent, and I noticed it. It sounded like they were from Norwegian or Spain or something weird. Like, not Spain, but Sweden. It sounded like a different, really different accent, So I said, wow, you have an accent. Where are you from? And then there was a woman that was with him. She looked at me and she gave me the evil eye. She says, in the same weird accents, well, we're country people. We just have country accents. And it was in whatever weird accent he had. And I'm like, bitch, that's not a country accent. I know Southern people, that's not a country accent. I don't know where that's from. And then immediately my mind went to that Phil Donahue segment where he was talking about the the Georgia Guidestones and how people were saying, some people were saying it may be satanic, and that there are in the deep recesses of Georgia, which this may be the deep recesses, Ray City and all that. I don't know. But how they talk differently. And then he had these people as guests on his show, and they were talking, and they sounded just like that. Ooh. So I don't know what I came across, but needless to say, and the black guy looked at me like, "What's going on?" But and needless to say, I left immediately, did not pass go. I didn't look back. I felt like Lot's wife running, and God was like, "Don't look back," except not like her. I didn't look back. I kept going. But yeah, so that was my experience. If I could find that clip, I would definitely share it.